What's going on, guys? Chris the Bonafide Hustler coming to you live from the inside of my office. All right, so this show is how to make money from garage sales, building a proper list. I think it's really important. I've had a lot of requests about like, show me how to build a list. Show me some of these things and like how do you get such great hunches? You live in the best town ever, like all these kind of remarks. And I don't think it really comes down to that. It comes down to prep. It comes down to having, being real cognizant of the surroundings, what's around you, right? I mean, you got to figure out your town, like know where the good neighborhoods are. And it comes down to, being smart about reading some of the lingo that is on Craigslist. And you can figure out real quick whether you're going to find yourself in a really bad situation or a very promising situation. Now, if you do really well, you can, in this time of the year, honestly, if you do really well, you should be looking at minimum like $600 days, right? Maximum, probably about 1,500 to 2,000 bucks a day, right? So I'm talking, if this isn't worth learning, I don't know what is, because honestly, this is what it comes down to. 3 hours, 4 hours invested on a Saturday, maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half of research. Not even that, right? Because if you know what you're doing, you should be just fine. And then after that, it's just boxing it up, right? And leaving it on a shelf and then waiting for it to be sold on eBay. So very, very important that you guys listen up how I do this route list. I'm basically going to show you how I create the trusty lists. Now, when it comes down to neighborhood-wide garage sale season, I think I could safely assume that in most places, neighborhood-wide garage sale season is about to wind down, right? We're getting into the month of November. It's getting kind of close to that. And, neighborhood-wide garage sales are getting a little bit more non-existent. They're getting a little bit more rare, but I'll definitely show you like how you can combat that kind of stuff. There is an app also called Yard Sale Treasure Map, which grabs about 80% of the stuff that's on Craigslist. But if you really want a really bang up kind of day, you want to treat it the real way, like a real business, then you're going to want to supplement Yard Sale Treasure Map with Craigslist at least. That's what I do every single time, and it works really, really well. So the most important thing is before you get to the garage sale table, let's say you're so pumped and you want to make, 600 bucks, you want to make 1,000 bucks this weekend, you want to make 1,500, 2,000 bucks this weekend, you really want to treat it like a real business. The most important thing before even all this planning will just get you to the sale. The problem is if you don't know what to look for, all right, now stay with me. If you don't know what to look for, you could be passing up a whole lot of gems. If you're just looking for things that you care about, you could be passing up a whole lot of gems. And I say that with the utmost confidence because honestly, after my 12 years of learning, actually I did garage sales. I've done garage sales for about 10 years. I did thrift stores and pawn shop sourcing throughout the first 2 years, and then I got better at pawn shops and all that kind of stuff. But really, when it came to garage sales itself, it's been about 10 years. So I think I know what I'm talking about. But honestly, in that 10 years, it's just been an ongoing kind of stream of info that I've been putting in my brain, like what sells well, what's good, like what has eroded, right? Very important. But most of the time, the things that I'm adding in my brain lead me to going to a garage sale and really almost making sure that there's nothing left over for anyone to make money on, okay? So I definitely want to crush all opportunities that I see with the garage sale. So 2 things, okay? You're gonna wanna make sure your brain is filled with important information on what to look for. And 2, know your avenues, okay? Know where you can put this product, because if you can't touch something, it's just as bad as being ungated it's just as bad as being gated in Amazon in a category. If you got to walk away from something, that's not good. Usually if you're walking away from something, it's something very large, and that's what most people walk away from. But if you're walking away from certain things because you don't know where to put it, or you don't know how to move this stuff out of here, maybe your vehicle's not rigged up the right way, shame on you. But today's actual and today's actual episode is going to be about how to build a list. But let me just say that point A was, to make sure that your head is filled with important information, okay? So put this into your head. I want you to watch this and read it on your phone. And it's 100 Amazing Items to Resell. It comes from the Green Room University. That's basically, I'm a co-founder of Green Room University. You can see the link down below. And I do have an amazing special for you at the end of this broadcast. So you'll see, because it's something that we don't tout very much, but there is something that will definitely help you out that has to deal exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get right into it. This is basically like a screen share type program. And I'm going to basically be going into Craigslist and building my route right now. And I'm going to be building pieces of it, not the entire thing, because that kind of takes intense focus on me and Craigslist going back and forth and all this kind of stuff. But I want to show you guys how, I basically build a trusty list so you can make big money out there as well. One of the only things I want to do real quick before I start the program is to make sure that I sound good. I think it's only fair just to make sure, and I'm going to shout out some people in the comments until we figure out if I sound good or not, because I would want to go through an entire show without sounding good. So we've got James Myers in the house. We got Diana Clank. We have Texas Hustle, Mr. Saddy123. It's good to see you guys. What's up, Texas Hustle? What's up, Bonafide? I'm going to garage sales tomorrow morning. That's right. We should all be going to garage sales tomorrow morning. Honestly, if you're not going to garage sales tomorrow morning, you have to start thinking, whatever you're substituting in front of garage sales could be worth $600, $1,000, $2,000, and you got to start asking yourself, is that worth it? So, anyway, Dave Christopher, what's going on? All right, so let's get into the program. Let me get the screen share going on here, and this is done right. We should be looking at a Chrome screen. Let me make sure here. All right, I think we are good. So this is basically my screen on my computer that you're seeing right now. We are in Google Chrome, and we're in the Austin Craigslist. So you see some of my top tabs here. Being a content creator is kind of funny, but I don't ever use Chrome very much, but I have my Google Drive right here. I got my eBay right here. I got my Austin Craigslist right here. I have my actual inbox for Gmail. I have my YouTube thing, the Antique Mall thing, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. So, and then there's also Amazon in the way corner, but I couldn't fit all the things all at once. So the very first thing you're going to want to do, guys, when you're opening up Craigslist, okay? Because like I said, there's two ways to build the list, and you should be supplementing it like with either, not either or, but you should be supplementing one with the other. So Yard Sale Treasure Map is an app that you put on your phone. An iOS or Android device will run this app. You absolutely have to use the app. I think it's very important. But if you didn't want to use the app and you just want to see how a real trusty list is made, follow this show, because I'm going to show you basically half of what I do right here to build a list. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is get into Craigslist, and you're going to want to click the day that you're looking for garage sales, okay? Because the default will be on here, and you're not going to get all the sales. See, sales on Friday, October 14th. Okay, so what we want to do first is hit Saturday. Very, very important, all right? Now, the very first thing you want to do, because Yard Sale Treasure Map does not do a good job of this, so the very first thing you want to do is neighborhood. See how this thing like defaults because it knows I search for all this kind of stuff. So neighborhood right there. Very, very important. Now, clearly it's going to bring up all the neighborhood-wide garage sales and everything, okay? So the very first thing you want to do is know where you are in town. Very important to figure out where you are in town and go, okay, am I in the northwest part of town, the center part of town, blah, 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 blah. And then the second thing you want to do is where am I willing to go to, right? How far am I willing to drive? Third, now that you've established how far you can drive, where are the good neighborhoods in that radius, okay? So one of them right here says Cedar Park. I don't particularly like Cedar Park. So the first thing I do is I start looking at these actual bottom words right here, right? I try to see if I see addresses that I know about, or if I see towns that I know about, like Round Rock. I don't personally like Round Rock too much. It's just me. I know University Park, that's more Round Rock. I know this is close to me right here. So one of the very first things I'm going to do is see anything that's close to me within driving distance of, let's say, 15, anywhere between 5 and, let's say, 20 minutes from my house. I know that this one is close to my house because I just know this name. So Millwood's Neighborhood-Wide Garage Sales here this Saturday, October 15th. List of homes. Oh, so here we go. List of homes and map at HTTP. See, this is the thing. I'm actually showing you as I do it, like how I'm doing it. So basically, I want to look this up because list of homes and map, very, very important. I'm probably just going to put this in a browser by itself. Control paste. Let's see how this goes. Okay. And then hopefully this will give me a map. Yeah, so here's the NH. This is basically the Neighborhood-Wide Association website, and it's going to show me here. Now, what I'm looking for is this thing right here, okay? This is very important. Anytime that you get to be, to see the Neighborhood-Wide Association page, then you want to find this thing right here. This map sucks, but I want to enlarge it enough to where I can get those stars you can see, right? All right, so here we go. So I'm going to put this on my list because I already like this neighborhood. And all these stars, you know what? I'm going to visit every single one of them tomorrow morning. So what I'm going to do on my Mac is I'm going to go Command-Shift-4, and I'm going to take a picture of this. It's going to go to my desktop. Boom, picture taken. I'll print it on my printer. Done. I don't have to mess with any of these addresses or anything. Now I know that I will be here at some part tomorrow morning, very close to 8 a.m. So that's the first thing, is you want to put neighborhood up there. You want to definitely look for other neighborhoods that are around you, like Etten Lane. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, this is Millwood. So this is basically that same neighborhood Let's take a look at the quality of this neighborhood, right? Because this is exactly where we were before, the Amherst neighborhood, close to Austin. I mean, close to where I live. So let's see what these people are selling, right? This pertains later on to what I'm talking about. So we have blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to look for things that I'm really passionate about, which is like outdoors equipment, RC cars or trucks, RC planes, bikes, sporting goods, camping goods, and houseware. It's very important to see, like, you know, household goods. And when you see household goods, I love that name. So let's take a look if we see any of these kind of things in here. Wine glasses and mugs, okay. Pictures, frames. I'm not huge about this one, but I bet you I'll end up passing by it tomorrow. So, okay. I know the neighborhood's good because I've hustled there before. In fact, the biggest video game score of my entire career with College Picker was done in that neighborhood. So I know it's a good neighborhood, and I've made plenty of money from that neighborhood. I think this is also the same neighborhood. Let me see, make sure that this one's good. Millwood, yep. Millwood Neighborhood Association, blah, blah, blah. And another post. So you basically, when you see these events right here, this is the HOA kind of, you know, neighborhood association. You'll see Millwood NA, or you'll see Penderton Heights NA, you know, NA, like neighborhood association, or HOA you might see like at the end of these like kind of things. So that's where everyone's going to put the map. You definitely want to attain the map if you can. The map is definitely the biggest cheat sheet you'll ever get when it comes down to neighborhood-wide garage sale season. You'll find the map in about 20% of them. So it's not a prominent thing if you are like, well, if I don't find the map, what do I do? And we'll get to that here in a second. So I'm looking at some of these other towns. So what I'm doing right here is I'm not actually clicking through each one. I'm first looking at these bottom things. Like this is already like outside of my radius. I'm like, yeah. So you can see how fast I'm going. I'll be able to spend great time with my wife after this, play with my dogs, because I'm not spending a whole lot of time on this list. I'm just going to, you know, build it really quickly, right? Supplement it with the yard sale treasure map, and I'll be just fine. Here we go. This one's kind of close to my neighborhood, Lakeline Ranch. So this is one exit down the road. I'll click into here real quick. And it says Lakeline Ranch near the Lander High School having a semi-annual. Okay, so this is a bunch of houses apparently. So we have a printer, Coors Light, neon beer light. Okay, so this could be something worth going to. Lost Mine Trail at Osage. So basically, I'm going to put this one down, but I'm not guaranteed to go to it, because I'm going to put it down because if my garage sale route starts showing a little bit more northwest that I'm going to be traveling, then I will end up going to this one. But likely I am to travel, you know, into the central part of town or the south part of town. So I kind of want to find garage sales that are going that direction. And I live in the northwest part of Austin, Texas. And where all the quality stuff is typically in the central. It's just like any other town out there. The central is where the people have money and they buy quality goods. And quality goods, when people want to get rid of it, right? They don't want to sit there and make Craigslist ads end over end and deal with people. So they're going to make garage sales, right? Or, you know, things like that, yard sales, garage sales. And then at the very end, they're going to donate it to a thrift store that's nearby. So anytime that you're in a good town that has a, you know, you'll notice that the thrift stores get better like towards the inside of the town, especially when they're next to good neighborhoods, because people donate good stuff to thrift stores. So here, right here, like on my list right now, I'm going to actually write down Lost Mine at Osage at 8 a.m. So my list, and you can't see this, but I'm going to write on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, somewhere towards the top 25% of the page, I'm going to put 8 a.m. dash, and I'm going to put what I am kind of like into in this garage sale. I'm going to put a neon, right? I'm going to put in probably toys, because that could be something. You never know. And then I'm going to put another dash. And then I'm going to put Lost Mine at Osage. Okay. And then relatively, I'm going to actually say kind of relatively where it is. So that includes the Google map. I'm just going to kind of speak it out real quick. I'm looking at Osage Trail right there. Oh, crap. This is actually really, really far. You know what? This is why you look at the map, because then you realize, like, okay, Lakeline is a big neighborhood. So you know what? I'm taking that off my list because I know I'm not going to go deep into that one. All right. So I'm going to keep looking. This is kind of how it is. I live in Northwest Austin, right? So sometimes people think in Northwest or Northeast that they're just classified as North. So I have to click on this one just to see what's going on. Anytime you can get the map, it's really important. But I like to take a look right here first. There's going to be tons of new boy toys, John Deere trucks. Yeah, that could be some money right there. Men's clothing, blah, without any kind of more explanation. They're not saying outdoors clothing or sporting clothing, so I'm not too excited here. Tyler boys clothing, definitely not excited. Purses, I'm not excited. Few strollers, jogging stroller, double stroller. Graco, this could be good right here. This could be a Bob stroller, right? This could be baby trend stroller. Could be all kinds of stuff. Gently used. The only promising thing about this one is the fact that it starts at 7 a.m., right? Like if this one was an 8 a.m.er, I would never put it on my list. But this one, I might put on my list. So I'm going to go ahead, and I have a feeling this is in that Amherst neighborhood. So what I'm going to do, let me see something real quick. It's Arrowwood Drive. And my question is Arrowwood Drive? Yep, there it is right there. So I know that this garage sale is on this route. It's going to be on Arrowwood Drive. This is the neighborhood-wide association thing right here. And the funny thing is this one's not even started up. So neighborhood-wide garage sales are very important. Some people are going to report to the HOA like where their sales are. And there's at least, another half amount of people that are not going to say, and they're just going to have a sale because they know the whole neighborhood's doing it. So I'm going to this neighborhood for sure. I don't have to write this one down because I'll be in that neighborhood regardless. Okay, so let's go into, whoops, I think I skipped too much. Okay, let's go into more neighborhood-wide garage sales. I'm going to take a look. Ooh. Breakaway neighborhood. This neighborhood actually has an airstrip in it, like an actual airport within the neighborhood where you can have a commercial aircraft. So multifamily breakaway neighborhood garage sale this morning. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is not too bad. So at this point, I know this breakaway place is a very short neighborhood. In fact, I can just explain it really quick with the Google map. So I live very close to, hold on, let me get it a little backed up. So I'm not going to go crazy about putting down the streets or whatever, but I know that basically you go past here, and once we get to this, there's a breakaway neighborhood right around here. You can see the airstrip right here. See this? There's very few trails in this neighborhood. I mean, very few roads. So I'm just going to put breakaway on my list. I'm going to put NHW. So basically, I'm going to look at the time of this one. It's probably 8 a.m. Yep. So towards the top quarter of my page, I'm putting 8 a.m. dash NHW dash breakaway. And I know exactly where that is already. It's just like putting, 8 a.m. neighborhood wide. That's basically how my code for neighborhood wide is NHW, and then I put breakaway. And I already know just to head into that general quadrant of, that neighborhood, and I'll find the signs from there. I don't need to write down all these little addresses because I'm pretty sure within 4 streets I'll find them. So now I'm going back. Definitely pay attention on some of the stuff I'm about to talk about because you'll see that there are, here's an October 15th neighborhood garage sale, Davis Spring. Ooh, this is a good neighborhood. Okay, so see how I say this is a good neighborhood? Because here's the same road that takes me to Breakaway, right, where that little airstrip was. And here we are on the map. Now I want to show you the extent of this neighborhood. The reason why I know it's so good is because I have hustled it before. But the Breakaway neighborhood's up here, and my house is down here somewhere. So I'll just travel down this street, which I'll be in 2 minutes from my house. I'll be on this road, and this neighborhood right here is having garage sales. So I like that. So that one will be at 7 a.m. That's even better, right? So I'm going to do a 7 a.m. because this one address, Valona Drive at Calaveras Drive, will be having a 7 a.m. one. And then when I'm done with this one, look at this. Over 100 homes will be holding individual garage sales in this exclusive 600 home subdivision. So this is probably my best bet for tomorrow is this 7 a.m. one. So definitely towards the top of the page, right? And the reason why I put in the top is because I put 7 a.m.s at the top, 8 a.m.s towards the, towards the middle, 9 a.m.s towards the middle bottom, and then 10 a.m.s and further down the page. And my 7 a.m. now says 7 a.m. dash NHW dash Davis Spring. And then I'll put dash 7 a.m. with this Valona at Calaveras. Valona at Calaveras. So that right there is going to be a good one. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to keep looking right here. Saddle Ridge Drive. I don't know where that is. Don't really care right now. I know that these places are very close. So I know anytime I see Dripping Springs, that's super far from my house. Manchac, very far from my house. Millwood, this is basically my neighborhood, but it's also the same neighborhood as this other one right here. Like our neighborhood's kind of a big neighborhood, but let me just see what let me see what lots of clothing, dressing, household goods. See this right here? All right, this is one of the biggest secrets about neighborhood-wide garage sales. And anytime that you go to garage sales, when you see this right here, it says household goods. All right, I love how vague this is because this could be anything. All right, anytime you see household goods, that's a really good signal. In fact, when one of my friends, Q, was hustling with me, we hustled 2 weekends, right? And weekend 1, we did really well. Weekend 2, we did well as well. And he was like, how do you, what are your keywords? And he saw me on Yard Sale Treasure Map. And I was picking them, and he goes, what's triggering you on this? Because I would have never seen this. And I was like, you see this word right here, household goods? It's so vague, and vague is good. Vague means these people, it's not these items that they're talking about. It's not important to even put it and list it out because they don't associate value to these items. So they just clump it into one little name, household goods. It's great. It means there's nothing going to be at a premium at this one, right? So that's why I like that one. Fremont, Corvette, Dorset. That's that same neighborhood from here. Hold on, let me get out of this one. Dude, I hate Google Chrome. I really do. But I had to do it for this show. So what are we looking for? I just want to make sure it's in this neighborhood. We have Fremont Cove at Dorset. And as long as I see Fremont Cove or Dorset somewhere in here, I'm good to go. I'm pretty sure it's in here somewhere. I'm pretty positive. Anyway, I'm almost positive because I know it's there. I'll just have to find it in the morning, but not a huge deal. So I know that that's definitely something good. That neighborhood has good stuff. So go back. We want to take a look at, now see that these are remote places from Austin. Once you get this dividing line, at least it is in our Craigslist, I see the dividing line. I know these are going to be really, really far. So I ain't looking at those. Oak Hill, save the date, garage sale. This is kind of close to my house. I'll take a look real quick. Actually, no, it's not. Not this one. This is a different Oak Hill. This one sucks anyway. So I'm not going to do that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a little bit of tips and tricks. The next one you want to do is put community. All right, so community right there. If they want to do that, same thing as basically saying neighborhood wide, but just a different name, right? Different keyword. So we're going to see community garage sale, Wells Branch. It's kind of close to my house. I just don't like the Wells Branch communities. How do I say it? Just the quality of stuff's not that great there. Century Park, that's far from me. This is in Round Rock. That's in Georgetown, Southwest Austin. I'm in Northwest, so that's too far. Cardigan Street, Manchac, far, 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 far. This is the one I'm going to tomorrow. Amherst Drive, Cedar Park. It's not far. It's just not the greatest stuff. Saddle Ridge Drive. I'm not 100% sure I know where Saddle Ridge is. Oh, so this is in that Davis neighborhood, I think. Let me make sure. I think so. Wow, that's a pretty interesting thing right there. Stranger Things garage sale. Look at that sign right there. This is the year of the purge. This is close to where I'll be in the morning. Adult bike, children's bike. All right, I'm already interested, right? I've seen enough. This interests me right here. Just this little random stuff. Okay, good enough. And when I see children's bicycle, you know what? That means these people might have video games. There's all kinds of stuff in this one. So it's 201 Saddle Ridge Drive. I'm going to be marking it down as a 7 a.m.er. And basically this one I can't put neighborhood wide because I don't know if this neighborhood's, I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me make sure. This is a different neighborhood, Ranch Trails Court. Yeah, okay. So this is very close to that breakaway neighborhood. But this is, so the reason why I'm looking at, I see a couple things that I already like, right? These things get me excited. There's a bunch of other, I mean, there's just all this random stuff to where it's good enough. Books, like, okay, this is definitely something you should be pulling the trigger on and looking at, right? Especially when you see these words, the purge, like they are really, really trying to get rid of stuff. Dude, Halloween costumes could be amazing. There's so many good things that could be at this one. So I like it. Plus, it has a playful attitude. Grab your Eggos and come on by. Like, these people sound friendly, right? So I definitely want to check this one out. I think it's going to be a good one. So I'm going to put 7 a.m., 201 Saddle Ridge Drive. Now, here's where some people question what I do, and some people are like, why the hell do you do that? You can put this in your GPS, but it takes time. Every time you do GPS stuff, you have to sit for a while, type it in. It's kind of annoying. And then it just keeps talking to you and all this stuff, and it's just no fun, right? So I basically go to the Google map of the neighborhood. I know I'm going to be going Palmer Lane to Ranch Trails Court. So this is how I do. I go Palmer Lane, right, Ranch Trails Court, right, Saddle Ridge Drive. So that's what I'm going to write down. I'm going to put Palmer.rt Ranch Trails, CT for court, and then I'm going to put RT for another right on Saddle Ridge Drive, and I'm going to put 201. That's the address, and that's good enough for me. So I'm out of there. I go back, see if there's anything else that are triggering with the community. Let me make sure we're on community. Yep, we are. And I'm looking for other ones that are, you know, interesting looking that are close to my house, because I am not driving 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour just to look at one sale. That sounds super interesting when there are plenty around me. You got to understand proximity is your greatest asset in the golden hour, is find stuff that's close to you. Century Park Annual Garage Sale, North Austin. Remember, I live in Northwest, so I'm going to click on this one just to see where Century Woods is really quickly. So before I even look at this, I look at this, right? I look at the map and I go, okay, you know, where's Bonafide Hustler in comparison to this map? I mean, I already know very quickly, because this is where most people, you have to be willing to judge for garage sales. You have to be willing to judge, to make judgment calls and go, okay, where are the good parts of town? Where are the crappy parts of town? And for this right here, Schofield's not a bad part of town, but I've hustled Schofield before, and I've done 3 years at Schofield. And honestly, I got to understand that, see, anything off of Schofield Ridge Parkway, this neighborhood or the one south of it, is, they just don't have great quality. The people buy junk down there. They just don't buy the greatest stuff. So I'm pretty much done with that one. And yeah, so okay, so there we go. Now that's the first part, is you want to do neighborhood and community. I hope you guys are having fun. Let me get down to the comments real quick. I get really sucked up into this stuff. I'm sorry, but I know I have 2 neighborhood-wide garage sales to go look at tomorrow, and one has about 100 homes, and the other one's going to have about 15 or so. 15 documented, and probably another 5 that are just like in the neighborhood, just running off their, you know, the whole neighborhood's having a garage sale, so I'll just throw up my stuff outside the house too. So we got 2 neighborhood-wides, 3 neighborhood-wides actually. I have Davis Spring, I have Breakaway, and I have this Amherst neighborhood. That's pretty good. Honestly, anytime that I get 3 neighborhood-wides, that'll take me straight up into about 10:30 pretty quickly. So let me take a look at the comments here and see if you got a question right now. I'll hang around, and before we do the next screen share, I'm going to hang around for about 2 to 3 minutes. So if you got a question, let me know. AZ Mix says, do more ride-alongs. I enjoy them. Oh man, absolutely. I have so much footage to edit. You guys have no idea. Yeah, it's crazy. James Myers, BH, is this your pre-route, then compare and finalize the route after your research? No, this is pretty much the route. Like, this is it. Like, I don't need to know within the neighborhood wides where the I mean, the only reason I'm looking, when I see a neighborhood wide garage sale or community wide, like immediately I'm like, all right, you know what? It doesn't matter how much competition in this town exists. The second that you go in there, it's everyone for themselves, right? So a lot of people will go for the one that's documented, right? The garage sale that's documented, that decided to put their address in there real quick. And I'm part of the neighborhood-wide, you know, association too, and my house is going to be in there as well as you know, 100 other homes, but here's my address and I'm starting at 7. I might go to that one at 7, but usually if there's one that says like, I'm going to be opening up at 8, I'm not going to be rushing to that one at 8 or 7:39. You know, when 100 homes are having garage sales, it's just who can cover the grid as fast as possible. That's really what it comes down to. And when I go to that Amherst neighborhood that starts at 8, I bet you I go to that neighborhood around 8:45 or 9. Because it's the 3rd one down on my list. It's just the way I already see myself routing myself. It's the 3rd way in my list. So I'll be, you know, not in the gold. I'll be slightly in the golden hour, but I will be in there, you know, doing the grid thing in that neighborhood. And I bet you I find the leftovers that people are just didn't understand, you know, that this had a market or that had a market. And there's still plenty of good finds. You have to make sure that you hustle hard, at least in my town, between 8 and 10 a.m. That's so important. You make so much money in those hours. Okay, so James Myers says no reroute by time, distance, or items. Yeah, basically, like, I'm not going to reroute myself for a sale that's even 10 minutes down the road that I know just has great sounding keywords and everything, when I'm in a neighborhood-wide garage sale already that has 100 homes, right? I'm gonna grid search the whole 100 home thing, get that out of the way, and then I'm gonna proceed to neighborhood number 2 and do the whole grid search number. That's just how I want to do it, because remember, the more precise you get on your garage sale, the more I'm likely to not go there. Does that make sense? Like, I want vagueness, right? I want as vague as possible, because when someone says, I have a Trick 8000 SLR carbon bike for sale on my garage sale, I'm like, dude, that guy knows way too much about that bike. So that means there's an attachment formed right there. For example, it's just an example. So when you have someone that says household goods, clothing, sporting goods, ooh, I like that, because that's so vague, and there could be amazing stuff in there. It could be, you know, $100 lacrosse helmets sitting in there. There could be Patagonia and cool and all kinds of great stuff as the clothing, right? There could be, you know, crazy bats. I mean, there could be so many good things in there, but it's just they don't associate any value to it. So they just type it in real quick like it's this stuff. So you have to be able to do, people are like, well, how do you have such great hunters Bonafide, and how do you drive by sales and all that kind of stuff? It's because I trust what I have up here. It's because I understand lingo. And when I see people writing this stuff out and they explain things, I don't want to go there. Like, I want to go to places that are vague. That's where the money is. So, okay, let's talk about the next thing. Actually, hold on real quick. Who Did It 99 says, I search for neighborhood first, then community. I search for neighborhood first and then community. I'm willing to drive up to 60 miles if the income level of the neighborhood is high enough. That's really, really good. That's great insight right there. Who Did It 99? That's a surefire way. That's a sure way to get some good money right there. Cape Cod Reseller says, I pin markers on my iPhone map. There you go. I'm about to get an iPhone soon. Like, I'm getting away from this whole Android thing, so I'll be there. Shannon Thurman, late to the party. You're not too late. You'll understand what's going on here in a second. Little Shop of Hoarders says, why don't you just use Yard Sale Treasure Map? That's a great question, and the answer to that is, it's API and everything. It doesn't get everything from Craigslist. Okay, it just doesn't get everything. I've found several that are miscategorized on Yard Sale, right? Just because of lingo. I mean, there's some on Yard Sale Treasure Map. You're like, holy crap! I'm so close to this other sale, and then you realize, like, wait a minute, that's a town that's like way the hell out there. It's just because it just runs off the lingo that's in Craigslist. It's getting most of the stuff from Craigslist. It's just not getting it all because I don't think they have the license to get it all, right? And I know that anyway. So I know that for a fact. They don't have they have a deal with Craigslist, so they can't get all the information. I know that much. We live in a small, okay, so here's James Martin. We live in a small town. Most people in that upscale neighborhood seems to frown upon yard sales, very judgmental people. It is what it is. You have to make the best out of your situation. I mean, like, look, I've been to North Carolina, garage sale there. Went to California, garage sale there. Houston, garage sale there. It can be done. You just have to be able to, bigger towns, yeah, you get a little bit more of an edge. Austin right now, I think we have 2 million people in town. Then the surrounding towns got a lot of people. We got really, really good resale, I think, here. People in Austin just love thrifting. They just do. We're not a materialistic society here in Austin, Texas. Not like Dallas and I'm not saying if you're from Dallas, then that's who you are, but I'm saying that there's a definite difference. If you've grown up in Texas, you understand there's a difference with Houston, a difference with Austin, a difference with San Antonio, and a difference with Dallas. It's just different. When people think about Austin, they're thinking of like hippies and like individual kind of people, hipsters, and that has a big market. Those people want individual things. They don't want to go with the mass kind of thing. They want to have individual, really high quality items. Does that make sense? So hopefully it does. Okay, now let's go into the next thing I want to talk about. Sumer Rabba, I haven't seen you in a while, man. What's up? Hey, Chris, what's the longest you've ever spent at one garage sale, and was it worth it? I would say the longest I've ever spent at a garage sale would be, that's the one with College Picker, actually. Easily worth it. That was a $1,000 or $2,000 garage sale haul very quickly. That occurred in the Amherst neighborhood, which is one of the neighborhoods that's having neighborhood-wide garage sales tomorrow. That doesn't mean I'm going to find garage, that doesn't mean I'm going to find an incredible video game, haul like that one. But that's funny because that same neighborhood, we went back to it a year later, and College Picker and I were hustling, and then I found a shirt in a garage. It was a Bones Brigade Powell Peralta shirt, and it was super used, shrunken down, everything. That $5 shirt sold for $170. I'm not even kidding. So the neighborhood has knowledgeable people when it comes to like quality things, nostalgic things. I mean, it's clear the video game haul was out of control. Like you guys would not even believe it. So anyway, I fronted $250 that day for College Picker. It was such a big haul. I had to front some money too. I just told College Picker, like, all I care about is just making, about $350 out of this whole deal. And he's like, really? I was like, yeah, all I care about is making like $350. I'm good with it. I get to, 100% or more of my money. I'm good with that. And then he took the rest of it. And I know there was at least 1,500 left. And to this day, I'm still selling some of that stuff. I did pay some long-term storage fees on a couple things, nothing crazy, but I still sell some of that stuff now, or I might be completely done with it actually. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I've seen, it was selling so fast at the first part, and then I had these trickle sales, and there might be some stuff left now. There might, but it could be just down to like a game or two. But we found everything. So, and it was like just about every system too. Every system except for an Atari, like the games for all those systems. It was just unbelievable. And the funny thing is, I think we captured it on a ride along, I think, but it didn't do any justice until we brought it into my gym, right, and laid it all on the ground, and it took 5.5 hours to process and to bubble wrap it and everything. We were so spent, it was ridiculous. So anyway, the longest I've ever spent on a garage sale, Sumaraba, was about 30 minutes, and that was that day. Okay, so let's get to the next kind of teaching right here. Let me get to the screen here. Hopefully we're having fun. Something I thought about doing on a Friday night real quick. All right, so let me post this to everyone. You guys can see everything, right? We're good? All right. Okay, so the next thing you want to do, let's just assume that I didn't find any neighborhood-wide garage sales to go to, okay? So we have to assume that. That's the assumption right now, is that I didn't find any, okay? And my sheet of paper is blank. What do you do? So this is what I do, okay? Remember, you're going to supplement with a yard sale treasure map, but it's very important to go into here and type in some things. So what are you about? What do you care about? What do you really want to find at garage sales? What do you know so much about? What can you make money on hand over fist? It's just your thing. So if we talk about bona fide hustler, as myself, we know that I like bikes, but it gets tricky with Craigslist, right? Make sure we're on Saturday here. Yeah, weird. Why am I on cars and trucks? What? Okay. So, North Austin and Cannondale. It's pretty interesting. So we'll go through the bike thing first. Let me explain something, because if I go bike, if I put bikes, how that garage sale disappeared. So this is very specific keywords you have to use here, right? And we can also use bicycle. Very important. Oh, look, see, it's completely changing up, and bicycle, plural, and it's changing up even more. So this is where some people go wrong. They don't understand certain things like this. They go, holy crap, I didn't even know that existed. You have to be able to go through all of them. And it doesn't take very long. When I say you have to be able to go through all, and I make it sound like a long drawn out thing, it's not, right? Because right here, remember, you take your neighborhood, you figure out how far you're willing to go, and then you just look at these bottom little terms, right? So I know this is super close to me. This is metric 35. That's not that far. That's a Jekyll, it looks like. What is that thing? A Cannondale mountain bike. All right, so I like this. It's not too bad. Huge bag of Legos. So you know there's going to be a collector. I don't ever mess with that. When I see a huge bag of Legos, I'm not going to be the first one for that. But this Cannondale mountain bike, maybe. Camera gear, kitchen items. Ooh, kitchen items. That's good. Camera gear could be really good too. All sorts of goodies. Good. Okay, so juicer, kitchen items, camera gear, big money in FBA, yes. This looks like a Jekyll. If I'm not mistaken, that bike is a Jekyll. Yep. So now what I'm going to do is just to see, I like to look at this picture and go, how much would I pay for a Jekyll right now? I have to ask myself these things, right? This guy's basically giving me a cheat sheet, and I get to look at these pictures and go, okay, I like this thing in this one quadrant right here. How much would I be willing to pay for this thing right now? I would pay, honestly, because it's a dual suspension Jekyll. Take another look at this thing. It's got mountain bike tires on it, so it's not slicks. Appears to be a large frame. I'd go as high as about 200 on it, because it has head shock and everything. It's kind of an old style technology. I would only buy this if it was $200 or below. So what I want to do is I want to cheat a little bit, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, Craigslist, the Austin Craigslist, and I'm going to look this thing up. I'm trying to save myself so much time, because this garage sale is literally, so I'm just going to put Jekyll, see if this guy double listed it on South Austin, North Austin. So I don't think this is the same Jekyll. Let's see. No, because the other one was half white. So a Jekyll, the reason why I want to buy it for 200 is because I could get about 400 in town. This dude's asking 500. It was a month ago. It probably is still there. Realistically, you can sell them for about 400 if they're in working condition, if the head shock's working okay. Yeah, this is kind of ragged out too. So I want to be looking at those kind of things. That's one of the very first things I do is see a Canon Jekyll. This is a blue on white paint scheme. So I take a look here into the Jekylls on Craigslist, and I don't see any blue on white paint schemes. This one's in South Austin, so I know it's not the same one. But I'm shooting for about 400 bucks on resale. If I buy for 2, sell for 4, it's 100% ROI. Easy to do. I would want to see this garage sale tomorrow. I think it might be interesting. It's actually off of Schofield, that crappy neighborhood that I hate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my list right here, 8 a.m. It's not a high priority because I want to smash these other neighborhood-wide garage sales, you know, really well. So I'm going to put 8 a.m. and I'm not going to put NHW this time. I'm going to put bike. Okay. Because now I know exactly what's in the garage sale that I care about. Bike. And I'm going to put camera. And that's maybe kitchen. And then I'm going to put another dash. I'm going to put Bosswood. I'm not even going to put Bosswood at Chasewood. I'm just going to say, where is this thing? So basically, I go into Google Maps. I have a kind of idea of where it is. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, Palmer Metro. Okay, so basically what I want to do is I want to put Palmer Lane. Right, I'm just putting Palmer Lane. This is this lane right here. I would be coming from this direction. Palmer Lane left metric. So I'm going to put LT metric. And then I zoom in a little bit here. And then, oh shoot, these Apple products, they don't zoom in as effective as you think. And then I'm just going to say RT Chasewood. And if I can get an actual address, that would be helpful. But there's no actual address. I bet you I'll find it tomorrow morning. It's not a huge deal. I'm going to try to get that bike. We'll see what happens. Go back. This is too far for me. That's too far for me. Not too far, but it's just not a neighborhood I like. Saddle Ridge Drive. That's that same. Oh yeah, I am going to this one regardless. I think it's in here. Is it? Yeah, I believe it is. Yep, it is. It's my 7 a.m. I'm going to be at this one regardless. Saloma Place. I don't know exactly where this is, so I want to check out this one real quick. That looks like a Martin or a Takamine. Interesting guitar. It's a 12 string, so the market's going to be even half. So I got to be careful with that. What do we have? Some nicer items. Rare sale. We have a car bike rack. Oh, see, so this is where the thing gets kind of messed up. Is the keyword bike will highlight anything that says bike in these ads, and this one says there's a bike rack for 25 bucks. Yeah, I don't know. There's a Martin Sigma 12. Pretty nice guitar, actually. 375 valued at 600. If it's valued at 600, why aren't they selling at 600? You got to ask yourself these kind of questions. I'm not going to go for this one. Just not my thing. And I bet you I'll be, look, it's going to be very hard for me to break away after these 3 neighborhood-wide garage sales. I bet you I have like 20 minutes left in my day, 10 minutes at best before it's taco time, right? So I'm basically trying to figure out if there's anything worth anything in that time right before taco time. Terrace Canyon Drive, no, it's far. And this is how fast you go. I mean, this is how fast I go. I go, okay, Allendale. This is kind of relatively close to where I'm going to be tomorrow. It's an estate sale. I don't like estate garage sale. I don't get that. When people say estate garage sale, I hate that. It's like, what is it? That's definitely a state. Look at all these pictures. I try to find the bike word, right? So I go down to the bottom because usually bike is at the bottom of all these other ones. What do we have here? If I haven't seen it by now, exercise bike. Here we go. Vintage exercise bike. Yeah, I don't want that. So that's not a bicycle that I am looking for. Now we're going to go into bikes just to see, and just to give an example of like how I do it. Century Park, that's far from me. Far. Where's this one? This is very, I don't know this one yet, so I'm going to look at it. Pflugerville, that's far from me. Go back, and I will go through all these real quick. You see how fast I'm going? It doesn't take very long. And I'll do this for a couple items. I'm just doing this right now so you guys can see how I live build this thing. This is great because I get to build this thing and I get to do a live show at the same time. It's fun. This is very close to my house, Carden Drive. I would literally live in this neighborhood like right here. Wait, Mopac. No, I live a ways out of area. I live like up here, but it's close. It's close enough. So let me see what we have here. What's triggering the bikes? Is it bikes word? Yeah, bikes. Oh, here we go. Sports equipment, bike, baseball, goal, lacrosse. What I don't like about this one is that it was on Friday. See this? Which means if it was a really good deal on a bike or whatever, it's probably not there anymore because this was a Friday sale as well. And yeah, I'm not going to go to this one. Well, you know what? I will go to this one. Yeah, I might, because it seems like there's a couple other things. Coca-Cola box, that could be good for my antique booth. A Coleman canvas tent, not a huge deal. I'm just trying to take a look if there's anything that really piques my interest. And that's what you guys need to be looking for too. But just remember that if it's getting really precise, you want to run the other direction. Okay, very, very important. This is a 7 a.m. one too. That's actually a perk about this one. So maybe towards the top of my, see, the only problem is I wouldn't go early anyway. So I'm just going to put it down towards the last part, which means it's going to be, to me, I'll put it at 7 a.m., but it's not going to be at the top of my page. It's going to be towards the middle because, you know, I would proceed in this direction as the day goes by. I'm going to put 80. So 7 a.m. dash bike, comma sporting, which means sporting goods in my terminology, 8109 Carden Drive. I'm going to Google map it just to make 100% sure I can kind of figure out where it is in my head. You'll be surprised how much you remember the very next day. If you just look at it on a map, like, okay, I know Mopac, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so basically I'm going to go Mopac, right, Spicewood, and then I'll put it right with the address 8019 Carden. That's it. That's the only thing that's going to end up on my list. Boom, pen is down. I'm hitting the back button, and maybe that's there, and I am back, right? So people, when they think, building a list is 3 hours long, it's not. You just have to do it smart. And let's take a look at something that maybe, let's say you want something that's really cool. Maybe you want something that's beer related. I like beer stuff, but I like finding it in the wild. I don't like finding it because I research it. So beer, let's say if I put beer, right? Okay, one thing comes from beer. Now check this out. You know where you'll find beer stuff? Man cave. Oh, no man cave ones. Interesting. So what else goes with beer? Hunting. All right, so we got some hunting ones. These are kind of far from my house. So this is the reason why I'm saying this is when you go video games, here you have 3, right? Now, where are you going to find video games? At a kid's house that likes Nintendo, for example. All right, 3 more now, right? What if the person really likes Sega? If anyone has a Sega Genesis. Someone far away from me. What about, what's the other one? Xbox. This one always comes up with usually something. So here's one. So that's what you got to do. See, if you would have put video games or any of that kind of stuff, you would miss half this stuff. So you always have to put video game. Do one right there, and then plural S. There's 2 more, and that's how you have to play the game right there. Is you have to be able to understand and find certain things like Nerf. Nerf gun would be found at the same place where they're kids. What else do kids really like? Taking a look, Legos, right? Lego. So you can do Lego and Legos, and the more sales pop up. And that's kind of how it works out. So you have to make sure that you do this as a supplement kind of thing when it deals with neighborhood-wide garage sales. But I want to finish up real quick, and I'm going to show you how I do a couple more. Nothing crazy. Glenview, that's far. I'm just looking for things that are kind of close. This could be. Ooh, this is a great neighborhood, actually. Hold on. All right, so let's decode this real quick. Moving sale in a yard, patio furniture, indoor. Okay, good. Sorry, sounding good. Okay, it's sounding okay. Like I haven't seen anything yet. So shelving units, blah blah blah. Not really caring. Kitchenware. Okay, maybe. I'm going down. Potted plants, speakers. Not my favorite thing. Bicycles and bicycle parts. All right, good enough for me. I like that. Board games. Oh yeah, I'm there. Cycling clothing. Yeah, I would like that. Everything must go. You know what I like about this? See these exclamation points? She didn't need to put all these, but she did because this is serious to her, right? Everything must go. So side gate, Jefferson Street. Okay, so I'm going to put this down as an 8 a.m. because this is kind of close to my taco place. I'm going to put it as an 8 a.m. but further down the line because I know I have to hit these neighborhood-wide garage sales. And so I'm going to put 8 a.m. And of course, I go this 8 a.m. dash. What was it? Bike dash. What was the other thing in this garage sale I wanted to see? Bikes and cycling. Oh yeah, games, and yeah. So that's good enough. And another dash, and then I try to figure out where it is. This is not right. So something's wrong here. So see, this is why you need to definitely like manually look up some of the things because I know where this is. Jefferson at 34th is in Central Austin. When I Google map it, it takes me to a place that's by my home for some reason. Like there's no way that this garage sale is here. So the only way I would have found it is by actually, doing this, just writing this down right here. So I'm going to put Jefferson at 34th. And Jefferson / Glenview. There we go. All right, so that's how I'm going to do that one. Let me see how the comments are doing real quick. Oops. Hold on. Okay. I guess they're doing okay. No early birds, please. That means go there, basically. That means definitely early bird it. So we're good there. I guess everything else looks, here's a yard sale, Austin. Marywood, this is way too far for me, but I'm going to kind of decode it real quick. Yard sale is Saturday, 7 a.m. I like the time. It's a good part of town. Lots of women's clothes, other housing items. Ooh, see, this is good. Other housing items. Love that. In addition, we have free stumps. Oh, man, what? Free firewood. Oh, I could totally take this. I really need firewood, actually. And we are selling an exercise bike and a bicycle. Come on by. It's a tough one, right? The only fact that the only reason I like it is far from me. I won't put it on my list, but it's a 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Usually the 7 a.m.s, you try to line up a couple, 2 to 4 7 a.m.s. I think you'll be just fine. You might start off your morning with a really nice pop, which recently for me has been happening, definitely in the past 3 to 4 weeks, like every 7 a.m. to 7:30. I'm already doing super good. But yeah, I like this one. Too bad it's kind of far, but the lingo is good. I'm trying to find some more lingo so we can kind of decode together how here's a garage sale in Pflugerville. Let's see what the Pflugerville lingo is. I'm not going to go to this one, but I want to kind of help you guys understand how I decode, so that way you can decode better too. Lots of good stuff. Love it. Okay. Kitchen items, crock pot, glasses, mugs, blah, blah, blah. Candle wick, cut glass. Okay, this person's really into like knickknacks. Oh, there it is, knickknacks. Told you. Antiques, stand-up jewelry box. Yeah, I mean, I already know this is a lady. This is definitely a lady writing this one, more than likely. Because look at all the stuff that she's explaining. I mean, it's mostly, this is a woman that wrote this. I can tell. Just look at how much explanation there is. There's just too much. I don't think a guy could have knows the difference between Franciscan apple and ivy and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, I doubt a guy wrote this, but Mongoose bicycle, a terrible bicycle, so I don't like that. Pokemon cards, maybe, but it's likely just leftover junk. Skateboard stuff could be, but it's probably the same quality as this Mongoose bicycle, so probably not worth it. I wouldn't go to this one. So that's just kind of how my brain thinks, right? It's in a neighborhood that I don't like anyway. I mean, I don't like the hustle in it, but I wouldn't go to that one. That's just me. So that's basically how it is. I'll do the last one real quick. I see there's only like a couple, and I don't see anything that really excites me. Let's look at the lingo of. I love looking at lingo because you can tell so much from like the way that's written. Let's go to camping. Anytime there's camping gear, I always make money on camping stuff. Let's see, love hustling camping gear. Round Rock, too far. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let's just see what the lingo is. Clean out my garage. Oh, I'm selling some Nintendo games. Wow. Pokemon, Mario stuff. Okay, well, you know what? I can tell you right now that someone's going to be here at 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Tons of camping gear, REI, North Face, 2 bikes. Oh my gosh. What I don't like about this, and I'll tell you right now, is the fact that I would go to the garage sale if it said tons of camping gear. The fact that it says REI, North Face, it says there's a Specialized and a Trek bike. This means the person understands what quality is, and likely this stuff is not going to be a super, super good deal. It'll probably be a deal for personal use if you wanted that, but it won't be a good deal for anything other than that. Old records and concert shirts, much, much more. It almost sounds like a reseller, honestly. 7:30 sharp, do not knock on door. Look at this punk. Do not knock on door. I will be enjoying my breakfast and coffee. Get out of here, man. Yeah, just need to clear up some space. Who clears up space and gets rid of all this amazing stuff? Something's up here. I play my hunches. I don't like that. There's something about it that I don't like. I ain't gonna travel halfway across town just to see what's up with that one, because I bet you anything I get burned on that one. So let's go back into the feed. I'm just kind of shooting you guys as real as possible, like how I do it. Just hearing, okay, so Stephen B says, Stephen B says, oh, Commodore stuff. That's funny. That's funny. Just hearing REI turned me on. Yeah, Stephen B, I'm with you too. Like, I love the REI stuff. I love it. But it does seem like a reseller to me. It does. Rake and Profit says, how long do I typically spend making this list? This list today, obviously it's taken an hour because I'm doing a show, but it would have taken probably 45 minutes or 30 minutes to make this list. It was really quick. But I mean, that's what it comes down to, guys. You have to be able to decode, trust hunches, and build two lists, okay? Because I'm going to, after this, well, I might not even do the yard sale treasure map after this, because honestly, on this trusty list, okay, we have 3 neighborhood-wide garage, 3 neighborhood-wide garage sales, all right? First one starting at 7 a.m. That's great. We have a bike that I need to see at Palmer Lane and Metric, right? Chasewood. It's a bike with a camera equipment and some kitchen good. Great. 7 a.m. close to the taco place, bike and sporting goods, Mopac at Cardin Drive, whatever. 8 a.m. bike and games at Jefferson. So I bet you anything, because you got to remember, one of these neighborhoods easily has 100 homes. Like, that's the thing. And NHW, that's my code for neighborhood wide, is 100 homes. It takes a while to go through a 100 home neighborhood. Like, you'd be surprised. I mean, there are going to be a lot of people in that one. But there's going to be plenty for everyone to munch on. So I definitely, when you're looking through these things, remember, like, the reason why we were looking at bicycles, camping, tent. If you're into camping gear, you're going to put camping, tent, fire pit. A lot of times people like fire pits that camp, like sporting goods. If you want to find baseball gear for real cheap, type in sporting, then sporting goods, then team sports. You kind of have to look at it like that. Same thing when we did video games. You want to put video games, Nintendo, Sega, all these things that matter with video games. Everything on Craigslist is a keyword away from another listing, basically. So you got to be able to remember that. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you guys real quick, Mr. Saddy123. And by the way, this goes out to everyone as a formal announcement, okay? If you are in Austin, Texas, and you love garage selling, I definitely, green room member or not green room member, I don't care. I want you to hit me up, and we'll definitely get you in the hot seat of the spaceship. I just love garage selling, and when someone is passionate about garage selling and they're like right next to me, it's like the most effortless ride along possible. But you must be willing to be filmed, because I make ride alongs. Like, that's just what I do. But honestly, of all the garage sales I go to, I only film about 40% of them. I mean, I only film 40% of the Saturdays, because the other percentage, sometimes I don't feel like filming, or I don't feel like the day transposed into a good, kind of thing for you guys. But no, maybe about 50, not 40. 40 is too low. About 50-50. So sometimes I film, sometimes I don't. But when I do film, I mean, I'm going at it like super hard. If I don't film, I'm usually pulling up Periscope, or doing things on Insta, whatever. So the other thing I want to let you guys know about, remember, you got to make sure about this guide right here. You got to make sure that you know about it, because this is going to tell you, when we made this guide, the premise behind this guide, 100 amazing items to resell, you can get it for free down below. It's like the third link. The premise behind this guide was to give you guys readily available items on your phone. It's just a PDF. You look at it when you're bored, and then go out into the field and start trying to find these items. I find stuff from this guide every single week, honestly. So this guide is absolutely amazing. I was in charge of building a quarter of it, and it's really, really good. The other thing I want to let you guys know about is sitting right here. Let me screen share real quick, because I told you there was a little special at the end. Now, if you like the information that you saw today, and you just want to become an ace at garage sales, you absolutely just want to do the best possible and start treating it like a real business, and you want the fast track, right? It's all about the fast track. I'm always about the fast track. If I can learn better and faster and make more money. Remember how I said, if you do good on garage sales, if you are an ace, like, you should be able to do 600 to about 2K every weekend, right? My best weekends have been 2K. An average weekend for me is going to somewhere around that like 750 to 1,000 mark right now, or no, 750 to about 1,200 mark right now. Don't know how many more weeks I can sustain that, but a really bad day for me is $500. Like, that's like, holy crap, this day sucks, is like 500. So, and I talk about that in pure profit at the very end, once everything's all done. So you must be thinking about that. And it's not like I live in a special town or anything. What I wanted to show you guys was, hold on real quick. Let me make sure I get to the right screen, and hold on real quick. Give me 1 second, because I have to get this link so I can show you. We never talk about this thing right here, right? We never talk about this one thing right here, because it's a guide that we created as admins, and we just put it in the green room as a perk of being in the green room. It was an amazing thing. It is in the market, right? But we just never talk about it. It's basically the A to Z about garage sales. You will not get a single bolo out of this guide. I'm going to tell you right now, there's no bolos in this guide. Nothing. There's no be on the lookouts. There's no 50 items to resell. It's not in this guide. This guide has everything when it has to do with the psychology to build the right list, to get everything in order, your head in order, your nutrition in order, your everything in order to make this a real business. Okay? So remember when I said, if you're aiming to do even a crappy weekend like the Bonafide Hustler at $500, what would it be worth it to you to extract good money out of this, to learn it one time over and really treat this like a business? On this show, there's 50 slots. So I'm just going to say it right now. I put a code in for 50 slots at this price right here, this $19 price. So make a decision whether it's worth it to you or not. It's about, I can't remember if it's 40 or 50 pages long. It's a really good guide. It's, I was in charge of a significant part of this guide, and it was really fun making it. And yeah, you'll get it. It's an immediate download. And here's all the chapters in there. Locate sales, prepare your day, how to negotiate a garage sale. This is a wonderful section right here, by the way. When you get home with your goods, like what do you do? Prioritize, like how do you figure it all out? Finding avenues for your goods, evaluating your kills, ups and downs, mitigating risk. This is a really, really, really good guide. And I gotta tell you, you gotta figure out what you're worth and go, you know what? Am I willing to treat this like a real business or not? That's where this guide's gonna come in and really help you out. I guarantee you that you'll make your money back. There's absolutely no way you won't. Like we've spilled our guts on that guide over the years. Like that guide has it all. It really does. But we just never talk. We don't talk about it that much. We don't. We just put it in the green room, and the people in the green room love it. So anyway, yes, I haven't asked you, and Steve is reminding me right now. We have 55 viewers in the house, guys. If you enjoyed this content, okay, because I did this on a whim. There's no practice on the show, no nothing. I was like, you know what? I'm about to build a garage sale list, and I'm going to bring YouTube into it as well, and I'm going to tell them about Garage Sale Killer, because quite honestly, not that many people know about it. Like, we just never ever talk about it. But Garage Sale Killer is a wonderful, wonderful asset that we have in the green room, and I made sure to put a little code in there so it can knock it down to a reasonable price to where you can go, even at 27 bucks, it's like super reasonable, but at 19 bucks, it's like very reasonable. There's a code right down below. It's the very first code in there. You hit that, and that brings you to that screen where it's 19 bucks. The code's already off, and it's ready to go. Ready for purchase, ready for download onto your phone. Look at it tonight. You might, if you start tonight, you might be able to get it all read by the next 2 or 3 hours. It takes a while, but digest it, soak it all in, and wake up early tomorrow and get ready to execute everything that you see in that guide. I guarantee it'll work. So anyway, good to see you guys. Hit the like button. All right, hit the like button. Very, very important. That just shows me that on a whim, the show was a great idea. And if we like that, then we'll go into another how to make money from garage sales show, like demonstration. Maybe we'll have a haul, and I'll show you, typical kind of goods that I hustle from garage sales. I'll make sure to keep some here at the house instead of box them all up or send them off. But I'll make sure to do things like that, right? Because if we want to learn, I mean, you got to tell me through the like button that this was a good idea. So anyway, I want to read a couple more comments real quick. Hey, are you guys ready for garage sales tomorrow? I assume if you're sitting here on the show watching it, you're probably amped and cranked up for garage sales. I'm telling you, don't take anything less than tomorrow. You know what? Don't take anything less. If you're watching this show and you're just like a beginner, don't take anything less than $250 home tomorrow. If you're an absolute beginner and you're like, you know what, I think I can do this. If you could just think you can do it, $250. There's your goal right there. Now, if you're an intermediate to an expert and you got, what do you guys think I'll crank out tomorrow? Honestly, I look at this list right now. I bet you tomorrow, that's about an $800 to $1,000 day, honestly. Just by looking at it, I'm like, it's about an $800 to $1,000 day. So, are you pumped up or not? We got Rockstar Flipper in the house. What is up, Rockstar Flipper? Gotta say, I love your videos. Thanks for being in the community. Thanks for your transparency. And yeah, you got a good business mindset, man. Definitely want to meet you one day in real life. I rake in profit already, beating me to it. Get on a green room show. Get you on the Bonafide channel. That's right. Texas Hustle. Yeah, that's right. Barkley McCheese Pants says, smash the like button. Texas Hustle said, hell yes, garage sales tomorrow. That's what it's all about, guys. Hey, and if you do want to show me some finds, or you want to snap me something, I don't know if you guys have Snapchat, but you can go at Bonafide Bod Dam. It's like my 2 channels together, Bonafide Bod Dam, and you can snap and show me random things. I don't care, just not those things, not those weird Snapchat pics that everyone talks about. I don't want that. But you can snap me some cool finds or whatever. I might open up Periscope tomorrow. I got a very busy day tomorrow. See you in Austin tomorrow. It was kind of rainy today. Tomorrow we got a high of 93. So tomorrow I can basically smell the cheddar weather coming in. And my dogs are barking. So I think that's basically my cue to get off this show. Remember that code? It's sitting. It's a link. It's not even a code. It's a link down below. Get Garage Sale Killer. Learn it tonight. Read the whole thing, and let's start acing these garage sales together. I'll see you on the next show, guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye.